So it's always kind of weird when the first day of the semester is a holiday, and that's why I'm doing this video, because I don't want to spend time next class doing what I was going to do this class. And so it means that while you get a day off from me, Ron, even if you don't know me, you need a day off from me, trust me. You will have to do some stuff during the course of this next week, and that's what this video is going to tell you. So right now, let's start off with the most important thing about this class is we do have our own class website. Very easy to remember address, comm380.com. The first comm has two M's, the second comm does not. And this is where we're going to pretty much start every single class, and you'll be referring to this out of class as well to get access to handouts and so forth. You are currently watching this video right here, which is kind of a miracle if you think about it. How could I be pointing to it and recording it at the same time?
I don't want to know.
That will be the first thing you have to do for next class, is explain to me how I did this. The syllabus, which we will be getting to in a minute. This is a good one here, the Comm 317 YouTube channel. So chances are you've watched a lot of these videos in a previous semester. This class does not teach you how to use those programs again. I will give you refreshers on certain things, but basically you're expected to have a good basic remembrance of all things Photoshop and a little bit Illustrator for you to use to create your web images and graphics. We will review the self-portrait project in a minute. I will just encourage you to check out this site here. This shows you some examples of what past students have done with Project 1. And then this stuff, demo file, HTML basics, in-class assignment, upload into class file server. You don't need to worry about that. That is for the other class on Wednesday, where we do meet in person, and we're going to be doing a little in-class assignment, but you do not have to worry about that. Back here are a couple of videos that I will get back to talking about when I talk about the project. So the first thing I'd like to do here is just very quickly show you the syllabus. So if I scroll through this, down around the bottom of page 4, you will see this is my contact information. And I will soapbox this for a minute. I am a big believer in good communication. So there's not a lot of real world I can bring into the classroom, but something I can expect for you is to communicate as if this were your job. So if you're going to miss class, if you're having struggles with a project, stuff like that, then you need to let me know, because I can't help you or make allowances if I don't know. And I certainly won't make any allowances if you just show up to class and say don't have your project done, or just don't show up to class when something is due. You're just going to lose those points. So good communication, don't need a pen pal, but I do want you to show you care about the class. So all this stuff here I'm scrolling through, I'm going to leave this for you to read through. Please pay special attention to this area here about what you can expect to get from the class. Bottom line is that this is a web design class. We'll spend the first half of the semester learning basics, the basic things you need to do to create a web page, and then the second half we're going to be creating about 3 different sites. It's very fun. It definitely has its challenges, but this is the type of stuff we're going to be learning. It will give you a good basic understanding of how design for the internet works. Anyway, what do I expect from this class? Just give a damn it. Materials, let me talk briefly about this. Good news is this is a relatively inexpensive class. I do not have a book, you'll notice down here at this bottom item, but what I do expect you to do is to watch videos each week that I've made that specifically relate to what we're doing in the class. So no textbook, good, no money to spend there, but you do have to spend time watching videos, which I have a feeling most of us would rather watch a video than read a chapter. So anyway, know that. I cannot require that you get a license for the Adobe Creative Cloud. Chances are most of you already have that because you did take 317. I don't require it because your personal computer may be older and maybe can't run it. But if your computer is, say, less than 5 years old, then you should definitely get it, and this will give you the ability to work at home on your own time, as opposed to having to come into the lab. So anyway, strongly consider that. If you don't have it, here's a link that will take you to the area where you can sign up for the license. It is free, so don't worry about that. The next 2 points, storage devices, really important. The most important thing you have is your time. If you lose some work, there is nothing I can do in the whole wide world except listen to you cry and tell you I'm sorry. You must back up everything you do. Once you get, a few weeks into the semester, I'd recommend you back up everything at least twice. So whether that's on a portable storage device, such as a thumb drive, better yet, if you have an external hard drive, and then also Dropbox works very well for this kind of stuff. Stuff on the computers will not be saved. So you may have your desktop saving stuff for a couple of weeks, and then the next week it may just be wiped clean. Here's the money you have to spend. You're going to have to, about the middle of the semester, purchase a domain name. So you will have your own domain name. And then you're going to have to purchase web hosting, which is basically just a hard drive to store your web files. I will talk a lot more about this, obviously, later in the semester. And then you do need to have access to either a digital camera, or if you think your phone has a good camera, then you may use that. Again, I'll talk more about that as well. Okay, please read all this and understand kind of the rules of the class. I don't accept late work unless you have a very good reason and you communicate with me well beforehand. In other words, if you show up in class and say my dog vomited on my keyboard, I'm probably going to say, gosh, that's rough. I wish you had told me about it. So communicate, again, is very important. There is a practical exam at the end of the semester. Here's the grading parameters, and then the other important stuff that you should know but is in most of your syllabuses for all your classes. Okay, so that's kind of the overview of the structure of the class. The first few pages talk about what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to leave this for you to look through. We're going to have 6 projects in here, and they are going to start off very slow and basic. I'm going to review project 1 in a minute, but we'll actually be doing some hand coding, which means you are going to be typing HTML code yourself. Now, before you completely freak out and melt down, it is quite simple what we're going to be doing, and I will walk you through it step by step and give you examples. So it's really just so you understand how the code works. The second project, we're going to create a GIF animation in Photoshop, which is quite fun, and then we will put that into a web page using Dreamweaver. Project 3 is where we start using what's called CSS. So HTML provides the structure and the content of the website. CSS, Cascading Style Sheet, provides the style for it. And so that's how you create the slicker websites, as opposed to the old websites you've probably seen in other classes showing the first websites were pretty much butt ugly. Project 4, you are going to start designing and laying out everything yourself in Dreamweaver, building from the bottom up your home page for the final project. Project 5 is going to be a website of a few pages, and you are going to be doing a quote site. And then finally, your final project will be a portfolio site showing all of the stuff you have learned in this class, all of the projects you have done, and it will be live on the internet with your own domain name so anybody in the world can see the work you have done. In other words, at the end of class, you will have a portfolio website that once the semester's over, you can take out the class projects and put in any content you wish.
OMG.
Okay, so that's an overview of this and the projects. Let me go back to the website for a minute. RonTube. Let me show you that. So underneath a lot of the weeks here on the website, you will notice a little RonTube logo. If you click on that, that will take you to this web page here. And as you scroll through, and this is a side scroll, you will see all of the different videos categorized. And so, for instance, I'm going to tell you early on to watch some of the HTML videos. So just click on that, and it will take you right to that area. Same with very basics, all the way through. So this is where you find all of the videos. You simply click, it opens up another window, and you can watch. Now you'll notice on the syllabus, as well as on the class web page, it will tell you each week what videos I would like you to watch. So down at the bottom of the classes where I'm requiring you watch videos, they are listed. Now this is very important. You need to watch the videos before you come to class, because what I'm going to do is build on those within class, and I'm not going to re-explain everything in all the detail that the videos offer. So if you want to keep up with the class, if you're worried about this stuff being challenging, then here's the best thing you can do for yourself. Watch the videos before you come to class, and then if you don't understand something, you can ask questions, and I will be covering a lot of the same stuff, so you'll get a chance to see it again, and you can stop me and say, wait, show me that again, Ron. So that's it for the first part of this video. The next thing I'm going to do is talk about what's due for next week on Project 1. So let's talk about the first project. If you click on this link right here, this will download a handout, and this is typically what I'll do in all projects, give you a handout with all of the project details. This link will open up this handout. And so there's a lot of steps here. I'm going to concentrate on the first 5 because those are what will be due when you come into class next week. So in other words, week 2. It's not as daunting as it looks, so let me just talk through this step by step. The first step is to shoot a photograph of yourself. Now this is very important. Yes, this is a selfie, but it's a little bit more than a selfie, because what I'm expecting you to do is to show one part of who you are. If you are passionate about a hobby, if you think you're a very funny person or a very serious person, anything that you choose to say about yourself just has to be one thing. In fact, that's what I want it to be, just one thing. If you try to say more than that, it's going to get too complicated and it's not going to come through. So whatever you say about yourself, say it clearly and with impact. So if you look at my silly picture there, unfortunately that is what I look like. Ew. You might gather that I am a goofball with, I'm a goofball. So that's it. So if I try to explain it more than that, it gets complicated, see? And so you need to take that picture of yourself. Now, if you want somebody else to hold the camera and take the picture, that's fine. But what's really important is I don't want you going through your old pictures that you already have, that you think just makes you look so beautiful or whatever.
Whatever.
I want you to shoot it just for this project, and you will be turning in your original photograph. When you're deciding what to shoot, obviously you need to define a lot of things. It's like, what is the environment you're in? What are you doing? What are you wearing? Are there any props in the picture? There really aren't any rules other than you need to shoot a picture of yourself for the project. Okay, you'll notice that the example I'm showing you on the right of this is horizontal. It really doesn't matter if you shoot this vertical or horizontal, but what you do need to know is that this will end up being cropped into a square. So keep that in mind. Don't shoot something that has to be horizontal or has to be vertical, because you aren't going to be able to have it be that. It must be a square. So once you've shot your picture, you're going to open it up in Photoshop and you're going to crop it as a square. And actually at the end of this video, I'm going to do a very quick demo in Photoshop to show you how to crop, just in case you haven't done that before. You are also going to resize that square to be 500 pixels square. I will show you how to do that as well. Steps 4 and 5, however, you're going to need to do on your own. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a picture of yourself that is normal. So as you see mine, there's no modifications. It's just a photograph. I will crop that to a square, and then I will take that and I will do a save as to create a new version of it, and I'm going to modify that. You are going to create 3 substantially modified versions of your original picture. So you're going to end up with 4 pictures at this point. 1 normal, and then 3 that have been modified. So you can modify this however you want. You can use adjustments, you can use filters, you can draw on it, you can do a combination of those things, whatever you want. And in case your Photoshop skills are a little rusty, these videos right here will refresh you on how to make image adjustments, also the difference between destructive and non-destructive editing, and then how to use the filter gallery if you'd like to use some filters. But the point is, you have 1 normal picture, and then you have 3 that have been modified in different ways. Once you've done that, then you need to choose your favorite modified image. So I chose this one here. And then you will have both of those at 500 pixels square. Then you'll need to do a save as of both of those and change them to 125 pixels square. And so when you come into class next week, this is what's due. That you are going to have those 4 PSD files, Photoshop documents, so keep them in native Photoshop format. And then I will show you how to convert those in class next week into web images that you're going to put into the Project One web page. And so again, if you're curious about what this project will look like, you'll notice you can click, for example, here, or you can, on the class website, you can click to see examples of different student work. So steps 1 through 5 are due next week. You'll notice that you'll be turning those into the server. Since you aren't going to learn that this week in class, I will show you how to do that at the beginning of next class. So just bring the pictures with you and I'll show you how to zip compress them and turn them in. You don't need to worry about that till next week. But all of your pictures should be ready to go, and then we will pick up from there in class. Obviously, if you have questions, feel free to reach out. In the syllabus that I showed you earlier, you'll notice that I have my office hours there. I have 6 office hours a week, which is twice as many as I'm supposed to have, but it's just important to me that you know I'm accessible and easy to get help from. You can also send me an email. If you need a long answer, please don't send me a text. Remember, I'm old. I basically just, text with one finger. It's embarrassing, I admit it, but I've accepted it about myself. Okay, so next I'm going to give you a quick demo of how to crop in Photoshop, and then we're going to be done.
Thank God.
Okay, so let's wrap this baby up. How do you crop a picture into a square? Well, funnily enough, you use the crop tool. So I'm going to click on this crop tool over here. This is the third one down on the left. And then I'm going to go up to the top in the control window. And you'll notice that I have some numbers and stuff in here. So the first thing I want to do is clear that out by clicking the clear button. And then I want to change this menu right here to be 1:1 square. So there's a good chance yours says ratio right now, but you want to choose 1:1 square. And that will change the proportion of the crop box to be a perfect square. And now, without holding any keys or anything else, you can easily just grab a handle and make the crop be exactly what you want. And so if you want to move your picture around, you just click in the square and then click and hold, and you can move and drag your picture around however you want relative to that cropping square. Now, since my goal is to make myself be goofy, I recommend you look at your crop in the same way. So in other words, is there a way that you can crop this that will emphasize what you're trying to say about yourself? So I'm going to be goofy, so I might want to rotate it so I look stupider than I already do. A challenge, I'll give you that, but I think it is possible. But say you wanted to make yourself be more glamorous. So how could you crop? Well, maybe if you look at some high fashion photography and see how they crop things and so forth, maybe that'll give you a sense of how you could crop this to make your point that much better. So, but me, I'm all about the goof. So you'll notice when I go near the corner of the crop box, my icon changes to that curved arrow. So now I can rotate this however I want it to go. And I'm going to be kind of extreme here. So, oh yeah. Oh, man, that is pure genius. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
And I can adjust here. Don't want to lose that flamingo, heaven forbid. All right, and I think I'm just going to have to lose Jack there, so I'm just going to crop in even further. Oh, yeah. Oh, it sings, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so once I've got my crop just the way I want, I'm going to hit the Enter key, or I can click on this check mark up at the top. That will execute the crop, and yep, never looked better. I can guarantee you that. So now that I've got it cropped, is it the right size?
I don't know.
Because remember, I'm asking you to make this be 500 pixels square. Well, I can pretty much guarantee it's not. But to check this, you go to the Image menu and pull down to Image Size. That then opens up this cute little window, and you'll notice that currently my size is set to 22 inches square. So that's much too big for anyone to see my face. So first thing I'm going to do is make sure this resample box here is checked. That will mean that just the width and the height are hopefully linked together. If not, then you can click on that little chain to link them. And the resolution right now is 72, which is actually perfect. Remember, you're in web now, and that means we always are going to use screen resolution, which is 72 pixels per inch. So you never have to think about resolution. You just need to check that it's set to 72 ppi. So the width and the height are currently in inches. So we don't use inches on the internet. We use pixels. So I'm going to change this drop-down menu to say pixels, and you'll see that my picture is currently 1591 square. Yours will be something different, but I just want to make it be 500 pixels. So just type into one of those boxes. It will automatically change the other to stay in proportion. At this point, you are done. You can click OK. Your picture will obviously get a little bit smaller, and I'm just going to go Command 1 to make it actual size. And at this point, you are done cropping your primary picture. Now, if you're not happy with your crop or you want to change it, you can either just undo or go up here to the history window and step back to the last thing you want to keep. But I'm good with that. I think I look absolutely wonderful. And so now I am done.
No way.
Or am I? Nope. I think I might need to do a save as because I don't want to overwrite my original image. And so to do that, I go to File, pull down to Save As. I'm just going to save this right to the desktop, and I'm going to change the format though from JPEG, which is what I got out of my camera. I'm going to change that to be Photoshop.psd, and then I'm going to give it a more correct name. Perfect. And then I'm just going to save. And so as you're going through this process, obviously you're going to do this first. From here, you're going to do some save ases to get your different images to modify. And then obviously at the end, you're going to pick your favorite modified image, take this regular image, and you're going to do a couple more save ases to them and save them at 125 pixels square. And those are the 4 files that you are going to bring into class next week. If you have questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in class next week. We're going to have a good time in this class. There is no doubt.
Yeah.